Hi, this is Kanae, and I'm back with another episode of Millennial Matters. If this is your first time here, welcome. I cannot wait to give you a bigger, better, brighter day and a bigger, better, brighter you. I'd like to talk to you about nosy people, gossipers, and busybodies. I looked up what nosy meant, and it means prying, inquisitive, intrusive in nature, or snoopy. I looked up the definition of gossip, and it means revealing personal or sensitive facts about others that may or may not be true. With all of that being said, there are 4 steps to dealing with nosy people, gossipers, and busybodies. The first step is examine this person's lifestyle and credibility. When someone comes up to you and they have something negative to say, or it seems like it has nothing to do with furthering you, your purpose, the good and positivity, then you need to take a look at it. Look at who this person is. Look at what they do for a living. Look at how they've come to you in conversations in the past. Examine how they live their lives to see, is this really gossip? Are they really being nosy? Are they actually trying to help? The second step is if you determine that this is gossip or someone being nosy or someone being a busybody, tell this person and communicate how the conversation is making you feel. So if you are uncomfortable, annoyed, confused, tell that person, I am annoyed at this conversation. I am a little bit confused at what we're talking about here. I have other things that I tell them. I have other things that I have to do. And so if this isn't helping in any kind of way, I don't want to do it. Of course, in the most polite way as possible, but tell them. And if you're confused, like, hey, is this furthering God's kingdom? Is this positive? Ask them. And then if they say, no, it's not, or if they're being a little iffy, then let them know, hey, I'm still a little confused. I don't know about this one. The third step is try to change the dynamic of the conversation. Once you see that the person is being nosy or the person is gossiping, then try to change the dynamic of the conversation. Say, hey, I know we're talking about this, but I really want to talk about something else. I know we're talking about this, but God has been so good. I know we're talking about this, but wasn't that project great? I know we're talking about this, but I can't wait to graduate next year. I know we're talking about this, but can you just believe how good God is? Can you believe they just got their master's degree? Can you believe they just got a new promotion? Can you believe? Just change your conversation up. So if you're at Thanksgiving and somebody wants to come and talk to you, you're like, oh, I heard cousin so-and-so did this, or I heard sister so-and-so did that. I'm sorry. I know you want to talk about this right now, but can you believe this person is getting ready to do something awesome? Just change the conversation. Change the dynamic of the conversation. And the fourth step is if you feel like you can't change the conversation, you've examined their life, you've tried to communicate to them how this conversation is making you feel uncomfortable, how you feel it's not adding to your life. At that point, remove yourself from the conversation. Remove yourself from the person asking questions. And go and work on improving yourself and mastering what God has called you to do. So whether that's serve in the ministry, singing, dancing, praying, volunteering, studying, listening to music, looking at something on TV, listening to your favorite podcast, you do those things. As you remove yourself from the conversation, work on your PowerPoint, work on your job applications, work on your school applications, further your education. Go talk about something else with someone else. Remove yourself from that space, because you'll find once you change your atmosphere from negative to positive, you have a healthier life. I want to take you to 1 Timothy chapter 5, verses 11 through 15. And it says, don't put young widows on this list. No sooner will they get on than they'll get off. Examining a lifestyle and examining credibility. And I want to let you know This passage is coming from the people who started some of the first churches in the world. They're laying down the rules on how they want their organization run in order to further God's kingdom, in order to further positivity, in order to further light, and in order to further purpose. That's what they're doing. And they're letting you know, don't put young widows on the list, meaning don't put people on the list who are going to go after their own desires rather than further yours. Rather than further the good, rather than further the better, rather than further the purpose of a company, of an organization, of a family, of a vision, of something positive you have in your mind. That's what these young widows are doing, and that's what that represents. No sooner will they get on than they will want to get off. They're wishy-washy because of their own selfish desires. They're wishy-washy, examining their lifestyle and their credibility. Obsessed with wanting to get a husband rather than serving Christ in this way. Obsessed with wanting to get a husband rather than serving Christ in this way. Obsessed with fulfilling their own desires than furthering the greater good. So you could be in a project and you're supposed to be coming up with a theme. You're given a task, and instead of them completing that task during that group project time, they're talking about what they saw on Instagram. They're talking about the latest gossip of a celebrity. They're talking about all these different things instead of the group project. They're using that time for something else other than what it's supposed to be used for. Selfish. Their natural needs rather than the greater good, rather than the purpose, rather than the future, the goal of what is supposed to be done. By breaking their word, they're word breakers. They're liable to go from bad to worse, frittering away their days on empty talk, gossip, and trivialities. So instead of talking about things that matter, they're talking about what they want to talk about. They're talking about other people's situations than working on themselves. Key point here, work on yourself. If you're so busy looking at somebody else, you are not working on yourself. If you want to be a millionaire one day, work on your millions, not look at somebody else's mistakes. That's good. Work on your millions, work on your ministry. Do not look at someone else's mistakes. He goes on to say, no, I'd rather the young widows go ahead, get married in the first place, have children, manage their, he'd rather them fulfill their lustful desires. That's what you need to do. When you're removing yourself from the conversation, let them talk about whatever they want to talk about. You can't control what they're doing, but you can control what you do. You can control how you respond. You can control the time and the energy that you put into making yourself better, to changing the dynamic of your words, to change the dynamic of your world. Change the dynamic of your words so that you can change the dynamic of your world. That's good. That's good. Somebody needs to catch that. And not give critics any foothold or finding fault. Meaning, you are not allowing people to mess up your reputation. You don't want to give anybody any reason not to promote you. You don't want to give anybody any reason not to bless you because you're hanging around the wrong people. If you hang around certain people, you shouldn't be surprised when people think you're doing what those people are doing. Because if you hang around gossipers long enough, you'll begin to gossip. If you hang around nosy people long enough, you'll start to become nosy and pick up those characteristics. If you hang around busybodies, you'll start to become and see more busybody experiences in your life instead of blessings in your life. Some of them have already left and gone after Satan. Some of them have already left and gone after negativity. Some of them have already left and gone after something that has nothing to do with being better, with elevating yourself, with elevating others, and with getting things done. So my call to action to you, identify nosy people, identify busybodies, identify gossipers. Work on those 4 steps. Examine that person's lifestyle and credibility. Tell that person if the conversation makes you feel uncomfortable. Try to change the dynamic of the conversation. And finally, if you can't do any of that, remove yourself and work on yourself for the better. Improve your life. and master what God has called you to master. If you like this video, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. I enjoy birthing purpose in you. I enjoy being your midwife. I enjoy talking to you and just sharing with you what I know. Again, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. You won't be sorry. You will only be improved. Again, I'm Kanae, and until next time.